Shalom, shalom, everyone. This is Yaina Israel with another edition of the School of Knowledge on the Sabbath day. We are glad that you decided to join us today and to share your Sabbath with us. We are continuing the lesson that we had last week, and we are talking about how the other nations are serving other gods and the importance of understanding that in the scriptures. So I stopped off at a particular slide. So I want to be able to bring that back so that we can begin where we stopped off there, because it's very important that we understand certain things in the scriptures, because understanding the scriptures and understanding the story allows us to understand our Elohim. Very important that we understand our Elohim. So I'm going to open up the screen. You guys let me know if you can see it. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. This is Joshua at Shechem. And this is just some information I wanted to share with you about a certain situation that went on in this particular land. It says, then Joshua gathered all the tribes of Israel to Shechem. This was a dramatic last gathering of Israel before the passing of Joshua. It may or may not be a part of the same farewell described in Joshua 23. No specific place of gathering is mentioned in Joshua 23, so it could have been a part of this same meeting at Shechem. And it says Shechem is modern Tel Balata. This ancient city was situated on the floor of a valley near its interim at Mount Gerizim and Mount Ebal, forming the respective walls. So this is Shechem, what it looks like today. I just got the picture off the internet, but this is what Shechem looks like right now today. I got another picture. This is Shechem. And we've been so far removed from our land that these places just look so foreign to us. They do. It says Shechem was a place of rich history for Israel. There were at least 4 noble events there in the lives of the patriarchs. Abraham came into the promised land and first camped at Shechem. There, Yah appeared to Abraham and confirmed his promise, and Abraham built an altar to the Most High there. It's Genesis chapter 12, verse 6. It says, and Abraham passed through the land unto the land of Shechem, unto the plain of Moreh, and the Canaanites was then in the land. Verse 7. And the Most High appeared unto Abram and said, unto thy seed will I give this land, and there build he an altar unto the Most High who appeared unto him. Okay, that was Abraham's experience. It says Jacob. When Jacob came back into the promised land, he first camped at Shechem. He purchased land at Shechem and built an altar there, calling the place El Israel, which means Yah, the Elohim of Israel. Genesis chapter 33, verse 16. So Esau returned that day on his way to Seir, and Jacob journeyed to Sukkot and built him a house and made booths for his cattle. Therefore, the name of the place is called Sukkot. And Jacob came to Shalem, a city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, where he came from Pandanaram and pitched his tent before the city. And he brought a parcel of a field where he had spread his tent at the hand of the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money. And he erected there an altar and called it El Israel. All right, so it says Shechem also was a place of shame. It says Shechem was a place of shame for the children of Israel. They committed murder in that place. Can somebody tell me what they did to commit murder in Shechem? If you can remember that it's when the children of Israel ever committed murder.
That's where they killed all those guys for their sister, Diana.
Yes, that's where they killed all them men for raping for their sister being raped. Very good, Sister Zion. Genesis chapter 34. It said, and Diana, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Havite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and laid with her and defiled her. So he raped her, basically. And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel and spake kindly unto the damsel. And Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this damsel to wife. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, came out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it. And the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Israel in lying with Jacob's daughter, which things ought not to be done. And Hamor communed with them, saying, The soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter. I pray you give her to him to wife, and make ye marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you. Now, somebody know that? No, don't you?
That is a no-no.
Mm-hmm. That was not going to happen. Okay. Watch. And ye shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade ye therein, and get your possessions therein. Somebody tell me why that was not going to happen.
They weren't supposed to marry anybody out of their tribe.
They were not supposed to marry anybody out of their tribe. So this guy has raped their sister, the only girl. Mm-hmm. Now, out of all them 12 boys, it was one girl, and he raped her. Mm-hmm. All right. And Shechem said unto her father, and Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, Let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me, I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me, but give me the damsel to wife. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor, his father, deceitfully, and said, Because he has defiled Dinah, their sister. He said, I'm sorry, let me see. So let me say, so he had already done this to the girl. I'm sorry I didn't finish that one, but he had already done this to the girl and raped him. So what did they tell them to do? Because I didn't want to put the whole chapter on here. What did they tell them to do that they were able to commit murder?
Circumcise themselves. Circumcision. Yeah.
Circumcision how? He told them all to do what? He told them all to go circumcise themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then what happened?
Well, they were able to kill him and be impressed.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the chapter. I'm sorry, y'all.
They came into the camp and killed them.
They came into the camp and killed them while they were healing, didn't they?
Right.
So that's where they committed murder, and because they did this thing, what happened when Jacob was dying? That they were skipped over because they did something that was heinous. And who was responsible? What two brothers was responsible? Do you all remember who it was?
Simon and Levi.
Reuben.
And
okay, everybody.
Simon and Levi.
He said Simeon and Levi.
Right.
They were the two. They came in and took this over and killed those men. And started a war. And I never understood for the life of me, and you guys want to read the rest of the story, it's in Genesis chapter 34. I can go to it. It's not a big deal. Let me go to it real quick. It's not going to take us but a minute to do that. Yeah, they killed them. And I never understood why Jacob got mad. I'm like, well, what do you think they was going to do? You know? Let me see. I know you guys can't see the screen yet because I had it fixed where you couldn't see it. But I'm going to open it up for you to be able to see the screen. But, yeah, they killed him. They took him and they killed him so that they could do whatever they needed to do to them. Okay, now let me know if you can see it. Can you see it now?
Yes.
All right, here we go. And they said unto them, We cannot do this thing to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. But in this will we consent unto you. If ye be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised, then will we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. But if you will not hearken to us to be circumcised, then we will take our daughter, and we will be gone. And these words pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamor's son. And the young man deferred not to do the thing, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was more honorable than all the house of his father. And Hamor and Shechem his son came unto the gate of their city, and communed with the men of their city, saying, These men are peaceable with us, therefore let them dwell in the land, and trade therein, for the land, behold, it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them our daughters. Only herein will the men consent unto us for to dwell with us, shall among us be circumcised, that are as they are circumcised. Shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us. And unto Haman and unto Shechem his son hearken all that went out of the gate of his city, and every man was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of his city. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword, and came upon the city boldly, and slew all the men. They slew Hamor and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house, and went out. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their sister. Any questions?
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Today we were actually reading in Judges, and all the times I read the Bible, this is the first time I came across this. Well, I was aware. Judges, I believe it's 19 it started, and I thought I was reading the story of Lot, and I said, well, no, this is not about Lot. And it was a Levite who actually went to a town to get his wife, his concubine, who was an Israelite, but she went back home. And so he went to go get her, and when he did that, some men came to the house that he was staying at, and they wanted him to come out so that they can commit homosexuality with him. And the father, the older man of the house, said, no, we'll give you my daughter and his concubine. And then he pushes the concubine out of the house, and the men raped her all day, all night, and then she was at the door dead. And so these two stories, they're not related, right?
No,
but
not
it's interesting to see it's a Levite, and it was Benjamin, and then they did the murdering of all the men of Benjamin except for 600.
And Benjamin was punished because of that. But yeah, they were cool. The children of Israel was ruthless. You know, I know everyone who wants to put this nice little story together like we were. No, they were ruthless. They did some ruthless things. But they, yes.
Sister Miriam has questions in the chat. At this point in Israel's history, they hadn't reached the giving of the Mosaic laws or the other statutes. So did they already have a command to only marry within their tribe?
Yes, and by the time Jacob got around, yes. Jacob was, definitely.
Okay, and the second question is...
Well, now, hold on. Now, let me think about that. Let me give that some thought. Jacob's children, and then, that may, you know what? That's a good question. I have to think about that. What's the next question?
Okay. The account of the rape of Dinah falls in the first generation of the establishment of tribes. So which tribe would Dinah get a husband from?
Now that, I have no idea how that would work out with her being a girl. I have no idea because she didn't have a tribe. The tribes were the sons. So I have no idea. That's a really, really good question, that whether or not it would even apply to her, because the order was given to the brother. So she could have married probably to one of Abraham's descendants or something like that. but the order was given to the brothers who were the head of the tribe not to marry outside of their tribe. Because the daughter has to be given. She has to be presented to someone. So she could have married within the rim of Abraham's family or Jacob's family, you know what I'm saying? But as far as like one of her brothers, she couldn't have married one of her cousins or nephews. Y'all come up with some doozies. I didn't even think about that. You know, but by her being defiled, she couldn't marry anybody at that point. Because she had to be a virgin. And that was a big thing back in the day, to have a dowry and have a virgin. He pretty much ruined her.
You know, that's a very, very, very good question. I'm pondering that myself. Seeing, I don't,
Was it Rachel and Leah cousins to Jacob?
Yeah, they were cousins to Jacob, but that's before the 12 tribes came about. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, whether or not they got because I'm trying to think, they got the law at Mount Sinai with Moses. And if they had it at this time, they probably had not, because Jacob had just came into contact with Esau after running from him. So they hadn't gotten it yet. So, I mean, they still weren't going to do it anyway.
But was it a tradition as far as Abraham was concerned? He stuck with his kind, and wherever he was from, that's where he got Isaac a wife from. So actually, that trend still went on in our lineage. We never mixed with like we were Shemites. They didn't go outside, except for Hamites. They went also to Hamites, because isn't the Hittites a tribe of Ham?
Yep, sure was, and they wouldn't have done that anyway, because what did Abraham tell them when they went to look for a wife for Isaac? He said, do not get a woman from those strange people. Go to my people and get somebody for him to wife.
Yeah, that was correct.
So that is true. But as far as she was concerned, I don't think they could have done anything with her because he raped her.
Uh-huh. Well, you never know, man. Just like we ask the Almighty to forgive our sins, I'm sure that the Almighty could find favor in her sight.
I hope so, because that wasn't her fault that the man took her and raped her.
Yeah, and as we know, that the story is not focused on her.
When did all that stop, though? Like, is that something the Most High allowed or not necessarily wanted to be that way? Because don't nobody do that no more. Don't nobody, I would think don't nobody do that, but I'm sure somebody somewhere sleep with their cousins and their uncles and their aunts and all that. But at what point did that turn off? Because don't nobody do that, for real. Not regular people. I know some people who do it. I mean, it's not done on a regular. It's not done every day. But when he set the law at Mount Sinai, that stopped all that. They were supposed to anyway. But I know some people today that's married to their first cousin. Mm-hmm. I know a guy that went to school with me. He married his first cousin and had 3 kids by her.
Two kids. That's very, very strange here too, because I don't know whether I married a kin friend of mine. We've been so scattered and everywhere, which way we don't know who our brothers and sisters is. Remember, there was yeah.
Go ahead,
I remember one time that in the slavery period, you understand, you don't know whether you having sex with your mother. They had you blindfolded or whatever. You understand, in a room. You understand? So, that's really a strange thing that y'all should mention that.
And you don't know what you don't know, though. You can't help what you don't know. But I mean, to consciously be like, oh, yeah, I'm a married cousin.
Oh, yeah. Well,
that's crazy.
Yeah, those things do happen, you understand, and not as frequent as we think because we hear them from time to time. And in fact, I think that they got a community of those type of relationships in a community, man, maybe 500. That's what I thought I heard.
Also, that particular thing goes all the way back to Ham.
Well, and to the question that the sister asked, in the account that I was sharing earlier in Judges, what was interesting, because they killed the 600, they left only 600 of Benjamin, that they said, okay, well, let's take the women that they had. For some reason, I can't recall how, and it was only 400, which left 200 women. Oh, there was some people who didn't come out to war to kill them, and so they had to kill everyone except for the virgins. And there were 400 virgins. So they had the 400 virgins marry the men of Benjamin because they didn't want to do away with the tribe. But then there were 200 men that didn't have a wife. And because they can't marry outside of Israel, they said, well, there is, I think it was called Shiloh or some kind of ceremony that was coming. And they said, well, when the ladies come out, the young ladies come out to do their dance, then all of you will take a wife. And then we'll go to their fathers and say they took her and they didn't break their vow because all of the other people who did the killing made a vow not to give their daughters to Benjamin. So they said because they took them, then you didn't give it to him. You didn't give her to him, so you didn't break your vow. So that's how they reconciled that and still kept Benjamin. So I don't know if it was a thinking. And also in the scriptures didn't go on to say there was no king, so they was doing whatever they thought was right. So maybe there's that element where they were just doing what they thought was right. And the account of Dinah, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, you just have no idea, because they hadn't, the law hadn't really been established at that point.
There was a comment in the chat that says Dinah was eventually given to Job. He had a second family with him. And it said the testament of Job, so it must have been somewhere else with Acts.
I don't know about them books. I know what they say. We'll see. I hope so. I hope she was able to have a family because, it wasn't her fault that she was raped.
Mm-hmm.
It was not her fault. Okay, so we kind of know what happened in that story. So Shechem was a place where they had killed all the men because they raped their sister.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to Genesis chapter 35. It says, and Yah said unto Jacob, arise and go up to Bethel and dwell there, and make thee an altar unto the Most High that appear unto thee when thou fleddest from the face of Esau thy brother. Excuse me. And Jacob said unto his household and to all that were with him, put away the strange gods that are among you, and be clean, and change your garments. And let us arise and go up to Bethel, and I will make there an altar unto God, who answered me in the day of my distress, and was with me in the day that I went up. And they gave unto Jacob all the strange gods which were in their hand, and all their earrings which were in their ears. And Jacob did hide them under the oak, which was by Shechem. Can you put your phone on mute? Thank you. And they journeyed, and the terror of Yah was upon the cities that were round about them, and they did not pursue after the sons of Jacob. So Jacob came to Luz, which is in the land of Canaan, that is Bethel, he and all the people that were with him, and he built there an altar and called the place El Bethel, because there Yah appeared unto him when he fled from the face of his brother. All right. So just to let you know that even then with the children, when Jacob had his children, they still had those images and gods with them when they were leaving as well. We're going to keep going. Joshua chapter 24. And Joshua gathered all the tribes of Israel to Shechem, and called for the elders of Israel and for their heads and for their judges and their officers, and they presented themselves before the Most High. And Joshua said unto all the people, Thus saith the Most High Elohim of Israel, Your fathers dwelt on the other side of the flood in old time, even Terah, the father of Abraham, and the father of Nahor, and they served other gods. And I took your father Abraham from the other side of the flood and led him through all the land of Canaan and multiplied his seed and gave him Isaac. And I gave unto Isaac Jacob and Esau. And I gave unto Esau Mount Seir to possess it, but Jacob and his children went down into Egypt. And I sent Moshe also and Aaron, and I plagued Egypt according to that which I did among them, and afterwards I brought you out. And I brought your fathers out of Egypt, and ye came unto the sea, and the Egyptians pursued after your fathers with chariots and horsemen unto the Red Sea. And when they cried out unto the Most High, he put darkness between you and the Egyptians, and brought the sea upon them and covered them. And your eyes have seen what I have done in Egypt, and ye dwell in the wilderness a long season. And I brought you into the land of the Amorites, which dwelt on the other side of Jordan, and they fought with you. And I gave them into your hand, that ye might possess their land, and I destroyed them from before you. Then Balak, the son of Zippor, king of Moab, arose and warred against Israel, and sent and called Balaam, the son of Beor, to curse you. But I would not hearken unto Balaam, therefore he blessed you still, so I delivered you out of his hand. And you went over Jordan and came unto Jericho, and the men of Jericho fought against you, the Amorites and the Perizzites, and the Canaanites and the Hittites, and the Girgashites and the Havites, and the Jebusites, and I delivered them into your hand. And I sent the hornet before you, which drave them out from before you, even the two kings of the Amorites, but not with thy sword, nor with thy bow. And I have given you a land for which ye did not labor, and cities which ye built not, and ye dwell in them. Of the vineyards and olive yards which ye planted not do you eat. Now therefore fear the Most High, and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away all the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood and in Egypt, and serve ye the Most High. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Most High, choose you this day whom ye will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve Yah. And the people answered and said, Yah forbid that we should forsake the Most High to serve other gods. For the Most High, our Elohim, it is that brought us up and our fathers out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage, and which did those great signs in our sight, and preserved us in all the way wherein we went, and among all the people through whom we passed. And the Most High drave out from before us all the people, even the Amorites which dwelt in the land. Therefore we will also serve the Most High, for he is our Elohim. And Joshua said unto the people, Ye cannot serve the Most High, for he is a holy Elohim. He is a jealous Elohim. He will not forgive your transgressions nor your sins. If ye forsake the Most High and serve strange gods, then he will turn and do you hurt and consume you after that he have done you good. And the people said unto Joshua, Nah, but we will serve the Most High. And Joshua said unto the people, Ye are witnesses against yourselves that ye have chosen you, the Most High, to serve him. And they said, We are witnesses. He said, Now therefore put away, he said, the strange gods which are among you, and incline your heart unto the Most High, the Elohim of Israel. And the people said unto Joshua, The Most High, our Elohim, will we serve, and his voice will we obey. So Joshua made a covenant with the people that day, and set them a statute and an ordinance in Shechem. And Joshua wrote these words in the book of the law of Yah, and took a great stone and set it up there under an oak that was by the sanctuary of the Most High. And Joshua said unto all the people, Behold, this stone shall be a witness unto us, for it hath heard all the words of the Most High, which he spake unto us. It shall be therefore a witness unto you, lest ye deny your Elohim.
Yeah, I knew. Was that 24 verses?
Yes, ma'am. That's Joshua chapter 24.
That was powerful.
That's supposed to be the last thing he said to them before he died. Mm-hmm. Any questions?
Yes, in the chat. A guest asked, so jewelry is considered strange gods?
No. What they had on, whatever it was they had on, must have worshipped the God that they had with them.
Yeah, you know how they do today with the jewelry that you got. You can go in there and buy a piece of jewelry, you understand, that got some old quiggly stick.
So will.
You understand? And you put it on like it, and make a guard out of it.
Yep.
You understand? You know, so the same thing that happened during those days too, man. Ain't too much different from, except for we're in a more modernistic time period, but the same stuff goes on.
And some of the Hollywood stars started wearing them snakes all over themselves. Yeah. They had snake necklaces and snake bracelets and snake rings and snake earrings and stuff. I said, I'm not wearing no snake on me. I don't care whether it's got diamonds, studded rubies in it. I'm not wearing that.
And that's all you see nowadays.
It is.
Snake on it.
Crazy. Serpent. That's what they doing.
Unbelievable.
So that's what they was talking about, because them people was worshiping their gods, and whatever they wore was a signet of the gods that they worshiped.
Yeah. Them crosses and stuff, people got them, man, everywhere you look, there's a cross on somebody's neck.
Yes. You know what, I used to be proud the way, when I was in Christianity, I used to be proud to wear a cross with the diamond in the middle of it and all that kind of stuff. And I said, something happened to it, and I don't know where it is. I can't find it.
Me too, Sister Shania had a beautiful gold cross.
For the last 3 years, I have
for
that.
I got a question.
Yes.
My question is, what do y'all think about tattoos?
Well, you know, the scripture says you're not supposed to tattoo your body.
That's what I say, man. But man, I see half the people has got tattoos. I mean, they got tattoos all over their body.
Yeah.
They probably got them before they what the word says.
Oh, my goodness. I don't see how a woman could be attracted to a man with tattoos all over his body.
That's another thing they do all over.
Huh?
The music industry and the sports industry is polluted with tattoos all over the place.
That stuff, it looks nasty. I don't see why they can't see that.
and Brother Donald, you remember a long time ago, didn't nobody have tattoos but prisoners and bikers?
Yeah.
That's right.
That was it.
Yep. That is correct.
Yes.
And now the girls got tattoos.
And sailors.
One of my good friends, that was their wedding rings. They had rings, her and her husband got rings tattooed on.
No. Man, I'm telling you, they got it going on. Go on, do your thing. Woo.
Yep, and you can't tell them nothing. You can't tell them nothing. That's these young kids. You can't tell them nothing.
Yep.
I'm telling you.
Until they get 95 years old.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Brother. What were you saying? What were you saying? Somebody was speaking while I was speaking, and I wanted to let them go, whoever it was.
Until they get 95 years old, those tattoos that was once proudly standing, they be sagging.
You better believe it. If they make it. Believe it. Yeah. It's just ridiculous. And I've seen some young girls on my job with them on there and had a dress on. They just didn't go together. I was like, if you only knew how that looked. Oh, you know, you got all this colored ink all down your arm, and then you got the nerve to have on the dress. It just didn't look right. But I mean, what can you do? My kids done did it too. I can't even lie. My kids got some too. And I had to check them like, okay, that's it for that. You like, fuck, we ain't know that, but we ain't gonna get no more. Well, you better not get none, because you have to do something about that.
Yeah.
And that's part of that self-ignored, narcissistic personality that's in the air right now. Everybody want attention. Look at me.
Yeah. I don't understand. I'm telling you, I don't understand. And the reason why I even said anything about those tattoos is because my children got tattoos. I mean, they're in their 30s, they still my children, but they got tattoos. You understand? And I asked them, well, you know, what does it mean? You know, aren't you, you know? And see, my children were brought up in the way. Their names is Hebrew names. You understand? And they seem to be going astray here, man. If we don't grab hold of them kids, if this thing don't turn over, you understand, they're going to be lost. Breaks my heart in two to see them in that situation.
Mine too, Brother Donnie. I can't say nothing. My girl, I said enough. I said, okay, stop. Don't put nothing else on you. And my kids in their 30s. And they ain't cheap either. I heard them tattoos are $700-800.
Yeah, that is correct.
And guess what? I bet they ain't got a canned goods stored up or a water bottle. No.
You ready about that? They're going to be knocking on your door.
No.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. And my girlfriends be asking me, what? You ain't got none? Like, I'm the foreigner. Like,
okay.
Like, what?
Well, yeah, I know that.
You know, and I think it's a part of that Babylonian spirit that's out there, and they want to be accepted by Babylon. And so I just think it's a spirit out there that they want to be a part of something, and they also want to draw attention as well.
Oh, well, and totally defy us. You know, it's like, why don't you just listen? What is it going to take for you to listen? But it's like we said earlier, it's going to take some people. The most I'm going to have to let the sky turn black. For some people, they just ain't going to get it until they realize this ain't bouncing back. And ain't no more jobs to go to and all that kind of stuff. They're going to have that kind of experience, obviously.
You know, all I can say is...
We don't even hire them at my job if they in places that they can't cover up, like on their face and all that. We won't do all that. We be like, toss that resume.
Yeah, you know, it'll have to be the hand of the Almighty to straighten out all of this mess. Because they're not going to listen to you, me, or the sycamore tree.
Sure ain't. You got that right. And you just be looking, like I told them, I don't want to, and you know, my kids got them in some places where you can see them, but you can't see them unless, you know, they wear certain outfits and stuff. But like I told them, that's enough. You know, that's enough now. We didn't know when we did it. We won't do it no more. Still, don't get nothing else written on your body. But I've come to this conclusion. Those are grown people. And you have to let grown people be grown people. And you're going to have to pay for the deeds that's done in the flesh. That's the scriptures. So you're going to have to answer for yourself while you did that to your body.
Well, you know, I like to think that they would meet me halfway. You understand? Don't come to my house. You understand? You know, any old willy-nilly. You understand? Don't just do that to me. Give me a little respect as your dad, even. You understand? As an elder. But they want to do their thing and flaunt it in your face and all of that kind of stuff. So I had to tell my son, don't come visit me no more if you got to look like that.
Right, I understand. It's not acceptable. Okay, so we're going to move on to the 70 Elohims. I wanted to make that a point. that on the other side of the flood, that those people served other gods. They had the gods with them. The Most High told them, Joshua gave them that story. He said on the other side of the flood, they all had other gods. Until the Most High chose Abraham. So it was an issue, even though he chose the children of Israel his portion, Terah and them had other gods. His brother Nahor was the seller of the idols and statues and stuff.
Right. His father made him, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. So it wasn't something that was foreign. It was very well known that this is how these people operated, and this is what they did, and we know who those gods were, and the 70 Elohims that came down at the Tower of Babel. They came down, and the Most High assigned each one of them to a particular nation and divided the nations into 70 nations and 70 languages. But it was something that was very significant. If you go to Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 7, it says, can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
It says, remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam. He's talking about at the Tower of Babel. And he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. Now, Israel wasn't even a nation at that time, and they weren't even born. But when you understand that the 70 that he lost at the Tower of Babel, when they did walk into Egypt, it was 70 of them. It took 70 people to build the nation of Israel, the children of Israel. Any questions? Hold on, let me pause this for just a minute. Any questions at all whatsoever?
Just a statement. Where when they went into Israel, it was as if though they were like a embryo, and they were protected by the Israelites at first. By the Egyptians at first. But when they began to grow and to multiply after Joseph had died, then those pharaohs that came behind him did not know them, and they had gotten afraid of them, and that's why they had turned against them.
Yeah. But they went in under good standings. Watch what he says. He says, for the Most High portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. So when they talk about inheritance, inheritance means that they were split up and divided among the gods. And the Most High said, I'll take Jacob for myself. Jacob wasn't even born at that time at the Tower of Babel. But he still was a thought. He still knew what he was doing when he chose the children of Israel, because Shem was definitely alive. You watch, it says, 70 started the nation. It says, Israel and Egypt had its beginning when Joseph rising in power in Pharaoh's court and Jacob migrating his entire household into the land. He said a total of 70 Israelites started a nation within another nation that would grow to more than 2 million by the Exodus. That's what right now we're doing. We're waking up as a nation within a nation. Yeah. Right now, we're doing that right now. We're waking up as a nation within another nation.
Yep, and that other nation don't like it.
No, they don't. You better say that again. They really don't like that. No, because you know why? They want to control the story. They want us to tell the story the way they tell us the story is. And my uncle said that before he died. He said, they treat you really different when they know you know who you are. And they do. They do. They really do. Let's see. Okay, now we're going to deal with the number 70 because I wanted to get into how significant the number 70 is with the Most High. And when I started to research it on the Internet, I found there's a lot of scriptures that talk about the number 70. you know, and how important. Anybody have any questions? I see some chat. Sister Naya, anything in the chat?
No, that's me.
Oh, that's you? Okay.
Just
here we go.
Following along.
The age of 70. Terah, the father of Abraham, who was not his oldest son, had his first male child at 70. 70 years old. Canaan was 70. Canaan, the fourth biblical patriarch mentioned in the scriptures, had his first son at the age of 70. Now, our 70 and they 70 was two totally different 70s because they lived to be hundreds of years old. But you know what? Even with Jacob, when he went down into Egypt, the Pharaoh said the same thing about him. He said, "How old are you?" and guess what? Jacob said, "I'm not as old as some of my ancestors are." I guess he must have really looked old. Watch. 70 elders serving idols. It said the prophet Ezekiel was taken by Yah in a vision to Jerusalem to be shown 70 elders of Israel defiling themselves by offering incense to idols. That's in Exodus chapter 8. It says 70 elders, not counting the high priest, composed of Israel's great tribunal, which is eventually called the Sanhedrin. Can somebody put their phone on mute? Watch this. The board meeting on Mount Sinai. The board meeting that they had on Mount Sinai when Yah came to Mount Sinai. Exodus chapter 24. He said, watch what he says. We're doing verse 1 first. He said, and he said unto Moshe, come up unto the Most High, thou and Aaron and Nadab and Abihu and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship ye afar off. Why did he have to have 70 elders with him when they went up there? That was a question. Everybody got quiet, like, oh no. That's one that the third that he's redeemed. Or the fact that the 70 was to represent the council, but they weren't there yet. But he had 70 elders of Israel that came up on Mount Sinai with Moshe, and they ate lunch together. Watch. Somebody said, what? Watch. And Moshe alone shall come near the Most High, but they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with him. And that's verse 2. Now we're going to 9. We're at Exodus 24:9. Then went up Moshe and Aaron and Nadab and Abihu and 70 of the elders of Israel. And they saw the Elohim of Israel, and there was under his feet, as it were, a paved work of a sapphire stone, and as it were, the body of heaven in his clearness. What did they see?
Another spaceship.
They seen him in some sort of a vehicle, didn't they? They seen him in a vehicle.
Right.
They said, as it were the body of heaven, so when they looked up, they seen the outside of whatever he was in. They could see the stars and the vastness of outside in his clearness.
Yeah.
Some people can't take that. I guess they say, hey, it's crazy. You don't know why. I forgot we got some Christians on the line. You know what? You all are in for oh my goodness, you are in for a surprise. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah.
And they saw him. They did. They saw him. And there under his feet, as it were, a paved work of the sapphire stone. So whatever he had, whatever the flooring was looking like, it was like a sapphire, blue sapphire stone. What does blue represent? Royalty?
The law.
The law. Blue represents the law. Blue represents the law. Yes, it does. And as were the body of heaven in his clearness. And upon the nobles of the children of Israel, he laid not his hand. Watch. Also they saw Yah and did eat and drink. They had lunch up on Mount Sinai. Yeah. They had a business meeting on Mount Sinai with the Most High Yah, and they ate lunch.
Yeah.
Was it catered?
Y'all know they're going to put me out, don't you?
Was it catered?
Was it catered? I'm sure he brought it with them. They didn't have to bring nothing with them. I'm sure whatever they ate, you know, that was a good question, Sister Zaya, because they didn't have to bring no food with them. He had it already there.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what they ate and what they drank, but they ate and drank something.
in some kind of, it was either a vehicle or a ship or something.
Yeah. He was in something. He was in something.
You know, it's hard to see that. And it's hard to see that in those scriptures.
It is.
If their eyes aren't open to it.
That's true. We done had a couple people hang up. I'm saying it's all right. It's all good. I mean, you know, you got to be here to see this. But you know, and the crazy part about it is Christianity teaches us that he's just floating around in heaven. He's a big old puff of smoke, and he just is everywhere all the time. And it's like, no, honey, that's not what you're doing. That is not what it is. He is a being.
Yep. Yep.
Yes,
he is spirit.
And you got to worship him in spirit and in truth. And it's like that is true, but he still is a being. He's not a puff of smoke. He got hands, and he got legs, and he got feet, and he got a mouth, and he got hair, and he got all the things you have because you were created in his image and in his likeness.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And he wears garments, yes?
And he wears clothes, so do. But a lot of people can't handle that because they just can't handle that. I couldn't handle it at first. I was like, what kind of being is this that knows all things? And I had to keep my mind started hurting. I couldn't go no further. I was like, they don't need me trying to figure that out. That's not for me to figure out. But I know right here the nobles ate lunch with him. So they saw y'all and did eat and drink.
Yeah.
But that's what it says. And the Most High said unto Moshe, come up to me in the mountain, be there. And I will give thee tablets of stone, and a law, and commandments, which I have written, that thou mayest teach them. Oh, he told them. Oh. So he brought them with him when he came, and he had lunch with Moshe and the 70 plus, and he told Moshe, I got something I need to give you. I need you to come on up so I can give you what I need to give you. After they finish eating, you send them on their way, and you come on up. We need to meet together. Christianity don't teach this kind of stuff. Y'all ain't going to get this in church. I'm going to tell you that right now. And Moshe rose up, and his minister Joshua, and Moshe went up into the mount of Yah, and he said unto the elders, tarry here for us till we come again unto you. And behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. If any man has any matters to do, let him come unto them. And Moshe went up into the mount, and a cloud covered the mount, and the glory of the Most High abode upon the Mount Sinai, and the glory covered it 6 days. Watch. He said, and the 7th day he called unto Moshe out of the midst of the cloud. So not only did they meet, but they met on the Sabbath day.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That was some pretty big, decent stuff. Any questions? Lord, they got quiet today.
I guess after the chat, does Donald Trump know who we are?
All of them know who we are. All of them know. You get briefed on, he knew, he been know, yes, he knows who we are. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's why we on the bottom. Don't you feel like you're on the bottom?
Yes.
Oh. while we watching these people passing around in gold carriages and stuff and living in castles and stuff, man, we on the bottom.
Yeah.
Yep. For real.
But he would be the perfect one to say, all right, y'all got to get out of here so we can reserve our resources.
There you go. Yes, I said that all the time. I'm so glad you said that. I have always said that. He's the perfect man for the job. Yep. He is. He don't want us here no way. When he said, I ain't going to apologize, you don't have to apologize. Just let us go when the time comes. We good.
Right. I guess why isn't he afraid of the Most High?
Somebody asked him, tell him Pharaoh wasn't either at first. Right.
he had the confidence of Pharaoh.
Yeah, he had to come introduce himself to Pharaoh. He said, I want to introduce myself. I'm the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And then when Moshe tried to introduce him, what did he say, Brother Jonah? He said, what God? I'm God. Get back to work.
Right.
But before it was all over, he wasn't saying all that. He said, you can go and bless your God and bless me also.
I know that's right.
And it's so many different dynamics to it because a lot of these people, ain't really, some of them ain't 100% human anyway. They were actually birthed to defile Yah from jump. So we have the mindset like everybody normal on the same plane, and a lot of these people don't care nothing about that.
No.
And until they're destroyed, they gonna have to be destroyed because it ain't no future. It ain't nothing else for them. That's what they.
That is correct. Absolutely.
That's true. And that's what he's of the negative blood pool too.
And you have to remember, they had their own gods.
They sure do.
Right.
Yeah.
And they'll pray to Nimrod before they pray to Yah. They trying to resurrect Nimrod. They trying to bring back what they know. We talking about what we know.
That is correct.
That's right. That is so true. That's why. But he's going to come and introduce himself again. And it's going to be ugly.
And you know what really sticks to me is that the Almighty said, Jacob, out of it all, Jacob saved.
Shall be saved.
You understand?
Jeremiah chapter 30.
Yeah, I look at that as I'm looking at the scriptures, and where in the scriptures has he ever made a mistake? That he was going to fix it, or let me change that, or let me do nowhere. So when he says that out of it all Jacob shall be saved, I have to take that to heart and believe exactly what he said. Because as we look at these things that's happening, you understand, earthquakes, man, they just had an earthquake the other couple of days ago, you understand, in one of them major cities, you understand. It was erected in the 7 point something, you understand. And we got wildfires throughout, man. You understand? They're getting ready to call the west coast of California is a disaster area because they ain't gonna be able to bring that back at no time soon.
That's a lot.
You know, and in the Midwest, man, you understand, they having droughts and stuff like that. It's getting ready to get real ugly.
Oh, yeah. That's right. But that's what he told us, Brother Donia. He said we're going to see the judgment of that nation. And we
that is correct. That is
it.
correct. Absolutely. You understand? You know, and I was listening to a brother today, and he made mention that, you understand, that things is going to get so rough, you understand what I'm saying? I mean, he used the word, man, that I can't remember right now, but you would feel the magnitude of what he was trying to convey. Boy, I'm telling you, man, it's getting ready to go, ooh, you understand?
Yes, it is.
You know, they said that Jerusalem got leveled to raised to the ground. That means that, you understand, it was leveled that to the ground, to the dirt. You understand? And the Almighty said that this place is not going to be, only habitation is going to be the beast of the earth. the beasts of the field, you understand, and the birds and the fowls and the scavenger birds. Or it's not going to be inhabited by humans. That's what he's saying.
Mm-hmm. I like this, our last chapter here. Hold on. We're going to this one. We're going to finish this one.
All right.
All right, Numbers chapter 11, verse 16. That's what the Most High said. We're still dealing with 70. And the Most High said unto Moshe, gather unto me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom thou knowest to be elders of the people, and officers over them, and bring them unto the tabernacle of the congregation, that they may stand there with thee. And I will come down and talk with thee there, and I will make the spirit which is upon thee, and I will take the spirit which is upon thee, and will put it upon them, and they shall bear the burden of the people with thee, that thou bear it not thyself alone. Now we're going to do this last one. This is the 70 years of captivity. Where were we in captivity for 70 years? Babylon. Yeah. Babylon. It's at the Babylonian captivity. Ancient Israel spent a total of a number of 70 years in captivity in Babylon, starting with Jeremiah chapter 29. We're going to start at verse 4, Jeremiah 29. It says, thus saith the Most High of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, unto all that are, listen to what he said. This brought me to tears today when I read this, because I want you all to be very diligent and listen to what this says, because in this you understand the character of Yah and how much he loves us. Watch what he tells us. He says, thus saith the Most High of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, unto all that are carried away captive, whom I have caused to be carried away from Jerusalem unto Babylon. Build ye houses, and dwell in them, and plant gardens, and eat the fruit of them. Take ye wives, and beget sons and daughters. Take wives for your sons, and give your daughters husbands, in other words, have some babies, and build up the nation, that ye may bear sons and daughters, that ye may be increased there, and not diminished. Watch. And seek the peace of the city, whether I have caused you to be carried away captive, and pray unto the Most High for it. For in the peace thereof shall ye have peace. He said, get settled with where you at. Don't give them no trouble, because if you can be okay with where I got you, you're gonna be okay. Watch what he says. He says, for thus saith the Most High of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, let not your prophets, watch it, or your diviners that be in the midst of you deceive you, neither hearken to your dreams, which cause you to be dreamed. For they prophesy falsely unto you in my name. I have not sent them, saith the Most High. For thus saith the Most High. Now listen what he says. That after 70 years be accomplished at Babylon, I will visit you and perform my good word towards you, and causing you to return to this place. For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, saith the Most High, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Then shall ye call upon me, and ye shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken. What are we getting ready to do in 2019?
Pray.
Yeah, call on them.
Cry out.
All on it.
Cry out and pray.
Ain't that what we getting ready to do in 2019 after this captivity is over?
Yeah.
Right. He said, then shall ye call upon me, and you shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you. He said, and ye shall seek me and find me when ye shall search for me with all your heart. And I will be found of you, saith the Most High, and I will turn away your captivity, and I will gather you from all the nations and from all the places whither I have driven you, saith the Most High, and I will bring you again into the place which I caused you to be carried away captive. Do you understand how powerful what we get ready to do in 2019?
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yes.
The curse is over.
Did you read 8 verses there? I mean, from 4 to 8?
I read all the way down tonight to 14.
14, okay.
Yes, ma'am. He said, if you seek me, I'm going to let you find me. when you search for me with all your heart.
And turn away from your sins.
Yeah, and I'll be found of you, saith the Most High, and I will turn away your captivity and will gather you from all the nations. And why? Why do we have to do that? Because the land had to rest for 70 years because we did something wrong. He said the 70 years of Sabbath. The land had 70 years of Sabbath while Yehudah was in the Babylonian captivity. And this is in Jeremiah chapter 25, verse 11. He said, this whole land, we're at Jeremiah 25, verse 11, this whole land shall be a desolation and an astonishment, and these nations shall serve the king of Babylon 70 years. And it shall come to pass, when 70 years are accomplished, that I will punish the king of Babylon. And that nation, saith the Most High, for their iniquity, and the land of the Chaldeans, and will make it a perpetual desolation. And I will bring upon that land all my words that I have pronounced against it, even all that is written in this book, which Jeremiah has prophesied against all the nations. So do you know that he's going to turn against the very nations that took us captive? Watch what he says. For many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of them also, and I will recompense them according to their deeds and according to the works of their own hands. For thus saith the Most High, Elohim of Israel, unto me, take the wine cup of this fury at my hand, and cause all the nations whom I send thee to drink it. And they shall drink and be moved and be mad because of the sword that I will send among them. And that's it. So the Most High said, even though we was in the captivity, he's going to deal with those nations that took us captive because they went too far.
And you're going to bring your God with you.
You're going to bring your God with you. He's going to deal with them. Then all we got to do is just call on him and seek him with our whole heart and turn from our wicked ways. And he said, I'll let you find me. I will let you find me.
Was that Jeremiah from chapter 25?
That's Jeremiah chapter 25.
11 through
16.
16, okay.
What kind of God is this that has that kind of love for us, that he will send us into a captivity for 400 years? And when that 400 years is over, he's going to turn around and face it. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to let you find me. When you seek me, I'm going to let you find me. Any question?
You can't wait.
How powerful? What kind of God is this?
It's powerful.
He said, and it shall come to pass that when the 70 years are accomplished, we get ready to accomplish 400.
Wow. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
How verbatim would you say that the wilderness is going to be from what I read? I was reading again, as I said, Exodus and Moses, and they went to, once Pharaoh let them go, they went into the wilderness, and it was about maybe 2 months before they started murmuring and complaining. So how verbatim do you think this next captivity, once we get released and go back into the wilderness, that is going to repeat the same?
Yeah, I think what does history usually do? It repeats itself, right? We're going to have the same people with us that was with us before. And some people ain't coming just because they love y'all. Some people coming to try to save their cardio, like Brother Donian said. Some people coming because they scared. And when they get out there, it's going to be something different because some people they're not willing to sleep outside. They're not willing to sleep in a tent. They're not willing to do that for y'all. They've been comfortable, just like the children of Israel were. They were like, at least we got beds and houses back then. We can go back there and sleep. It's going to be the same people.
So my other question is how it doesn't really specify. Maybe I'm just missing it. Okay, when Moses kept going back, Moses and Aaron kept going back to Pharaoh, and he clearly said that he hardened his heart. And the locusts came, then the flies came, then the last was the firstborn. How was he relaying that message back to the people? Because it seems like that would have blew my wig back, just experiencing something like that. Here we're not touched, and this, the whole Egypt is being affected. So, that just makes, they weren't even moved by the water being parted, because that would have done something to me too. Walking on the side of water, and it's, I could see fish. That would have just changed me in the wilderness.
It's just like Malcolm said, everybody that you think is Israel is not Israel. Even though they may look like us, they may have some other components in their DNA going on, but they're not able to have empathy. They are not able to experience fear, but they're worried about their own cardio. So they're going to come, and they're going to say all the right things, and they're going to ooh and ah over the things that they see, but at the end of the day, they have an ulterior motive, and you can always tell, because the Bible says from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Yeah. So you're going to be able to tell who's who. Dang, all these birds and stuff. I ain't got no more weed. Ain't no more gel. We don't even have no more glue. Girl, where's my wig that I can't even put my lace wig on? Blah, 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 blah. My nails ain't been done. I know we was going to have to do all this. That's the generation we working with now.
Yeah.
Ain't no Facebook. We can't even do Twitter. What? And all them butt implants and breast implants, that stuff going to be sagging, and it's going to be a mess. I mean, for real.
Yeah, right, Gina. Go ahead.
Really, real talk. So, I mean, that's the generation that we dealing with right now. They so self-absorbed with themselves that they're going to run to try to save themselves, but they're not going to have the stamina that's going to be necessary and the commitment to y'all that's necessary to be able to save their own lives, because he's going to wipe them out for complaining.
Yeah.
He's going to plead with them first, though. He's going to plead with them.
Yeah, he's going to try.
And if they don't comply with what he's saying, then, yeah, he's going to wipe them out.
Yeah. I ain't never slept on the ground before. Where the pillows? Ain't no pillows. Dang, we got to sleep. You know how it is. Look, you know how it is. I ain't going to even going. That's what we dealing with today.
I've done it. I slept out there on the ground plenty of times, courtesy of the U.S. Marines.
Yeah. That's what we dealing with today. And guess what? The LGBT going to come, and all them come, everybody coming.
Yeah.
And the men going to be talking like, oh, girl, this is too much. Until they meet y'all, it's all going to change. We got to deal with a whole lot. Everybody comes and says, and they're going to be scared to death. But one warning I can't give them, you better straighten it all the way up, because he is dreadful. Everybody that I read about that netting said it was a dreadful experience. That is, we talking about the God of gods. He ain't nothing to be playing with.
Yeah.
And not to mention, even for the people on this very line, it's going to be a struggle, especially anytime you introduce to something you're not accustomed to. It's a struggle. So I pray to y'all all the time that I'm able to endure, because y'all even know me better than anybody on the line. You know me. If I can take it to the 10th degree and it's fly, it's mine. So for me to sleep out on the ground, it's like, You know, so even the people, and that's not to say I don't love y'all and I don't keep the commandments and I don't do that. It's just going to be a struggle. Everybody needs to realize it's easy to talk stuff when you on the phone in your house and you got everything you need. You're chilling. When the rubber hits the road, that's when it's going to be the men separated from the boys and the women separated from the girls. Because it's easy to talk stuff when you're on the phone at home.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
why you want
like,
to keep the.
Well, I love y'all so much. I can't understand why they think like that. Then when you get out there, like, wow, I got to poop in a hole. Ain't no toilet paper. I got to use, excuse me, Elise. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got to be funny, but when the rubber hits the road, it's going to be rough for a lot of people, especially if, you know, you don't know nothing else.
Yeah, let's call it cattle when you poop in the ground, you know, like that. And also the battle is not to the strong nor to the swift, but to those who endure. So you're right.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And that's why we have a Feast of Tabernacles, so you can get used to that. That's why we spend those 7 days in a tent. And I'm going to do it before we leave. I'm going to do that. Because I've never slept on the ground either. I've never camped that well. I've been to camp, but we slept in cabins. I've never slept out on the ground in my whole life, ever.
Ain't nothing like sleeping out there on the ground and you got rain falling upon you, cold rain at that, and you like trying to keep from freezing. Good luck.
And then we don't know what he has in store. He may have something in store for us when we get there. We don't know.
I pray.
And one of my cousins is in the military, and they had to sleep outside, and he said something tore his sleeping bag to pieces and didn't even nobody know what it was. They still don't know. Even the people around him that witnessed it was like, I don't know what that was like. They never even identified this creature or whatever that was that attacked him. But he said when it was all over, it wasn't nothing but y'all because it wasn't nothing less but some shreds to the bag. It didn't get to him, but the tent was tore up, the thing was tore up, and they still don't know what that was.
But then guess what? When we get where we're going in the wilderness, it's not going to be that. He said, because it ain't going to be no wild beasts. There ain't going to be none of that. He's going to clear the land out where there ain't going to be no wild beasts, but you're still going to have to sleep on the ground.
I'm just saying, when you talk about sleeping outside, because I had planned on doing it too, I slept outside before, but like you said, it was a controlled environment because we was at camp, and we actually did sleep outside under trees and stuff, but again, you knew when that was over, you was going back to the cabin, you was getting in the shower, you was putting on your clothes.
Yeah, so it's going to be very interesting, but the best part about it is y'all going to be there. We're going to be there.
Yes, hallelujah for that.
And that's why I'm going, because I want to see y'all. If I have to sleep sitting up under a tree, I don't care. I just want to see him. The food's going to be there. He said there's going to be fruit trees and all kind of stuff there. There's not GMO'd, and then there's no additives and preservatives in there. We're going to be able to really finally stretch out and be at peace. While the rest of the world going to go on with what they're doing until they finish their assignment.
Hallelujah.
So, I mean, you know, it's going to be different, but it's better than this. It's going to be better than this.
Yeah, I'm willing.
You know.
So
what I want to do is take the time. Thank you all for joining us. I'm going to cut the recording off. I appreciate you all that are listening to us out in the listening audience for taking the time and spending your Sabbath with us. We hope that you have enjoyed the lesson. We will see you tomorrow on our Blog Talk Radio show. It's at 3:30 p.m. tomorrow Eastern Standard Time, and the number is 718-664-9551. Again, it's 718-664-9551 at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shalom, shalom, everyone, and thank you.